Up early in the morning. All right, so getting ready for HomeGymCon. This is the basic loadout. We have to figure out of all this stuff here, what goes with me to French Lick and what I get to leave here. I'm supposed to take a nap because I just got back home from work. It's about 4 a.m. I just got back home from work, and my wife has sacrificed and woken up so she could pack stuff, and then I'm gonna wake up, help her put everything in the car, and then I'm gonna get on the road. So I'm gonna take a nap. I'll be back. I'm gonna say right off the top that HomeGymCon has fast become an event that my wife and I look forward to. We went to the first HomeGymCon in French Lick in 2023. We had a ball, and as soon as tickets were available, we went ahead and we got our tickets for 2024. We knew that it was gonna be bigger than it was in 2023. Jake more than doubled the number of vendors that were gonna be there. But more than the vendors, we look forward to seeing people who we haven't seen since the last HomeGymCon. We went there in the first year and we established relationships with people. We connected with people who we had only seen online. And then we continued to build on those relationships over the course of the year. And then going into the HomeGymCon 2024, it was like, hey, we can't wait to see our friends again. It's like a family reunion. All right, the car is packed. My lovely wife once again did Tetris with all of the equipment that I'll need to live stream. As you can see, it takes a ton of stuff to run a live stream, but you know, we get it done somehow. So I'm getting ready to hop in the car, fully rested. I gotta stop for gas, but then pretty much I'm headed to Indiana. About to get back on the road, but first, time to upgrade the footwear. I always get nervous whenever I'm going this way, right around here, because this is coming up on where I had my rollover car wreck. It was a couple of years ago, 3 years ago I think now. But I was driving this same way. It was on a Saturday and I was headed up to train with my martial arts instructor. May he rest in peace. And I was in the middle lane like I am now. A car swerved into my lane, and I went off. So I jerked the steering wheel to avoid them, you know, just instinctively. I wasn't even thinking it through. Anyway, so it was right around here, and she swerved into my lane. I jerked the steering wheel, and I went off the road right where we're passing right now, and I rolled over 5 times. I actually got out of the car. The other people who saw me roll over, they came, like, I guess they thought I was dead. I don't know. But God bless me, and I got out of the car, and I was driving a Jeep Liberty. I got out of the car, and I was just looking around. I remember hitting my head while I was in the car, because we're rolling over, and the top of my head hit the roof of the Jeep Liberty. And I got out, and I felt like when I was in IKF Nationals, and Danny Kelly hit me with an overhand right, and that's what got him the TKO. It felt just like that, and that was pretty rough. I ended up not being able to work out for 2 years, and yeah, I'm on the way back now, you know. Not quite as strong in some ways as I was before the wreck. I've definitely lost a little bit of mobility, but it's coming back. It's coming back, and anyway, that's just what I think about every time I pass this spot. Probably always will from now on. Every time I pass this spot, that's probably what I'm gonna think about. have got to do my secondary press day and press workout of the week, and I plan to do it at the Bells of Steel booth. So we'll see if they've got everything set up enough for me to catch a workout. If not, I'll just have to compress it and do it tomorrow during the open workout at HomeGymCon. The site of HomeGymCon 2024. First order of business is I gotta go to the bathroom because I've been on the road for about 7 hours. So while I do that, you hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and when I get back, we'll see what we can see. We were honored and blessed to have Bells of Steel sponsor the trip. This is the Bells of Steel booth, and that's Andrew. What's up, buddy? What's up, man? I mean, obviously anybody would be happy to have someone pay their way to an event that they want to go to. It humbles me, it motivates me, and like I said, it's an honor that they think enough of my work to judge me worthy of that. Thursday night we were hanging around with Kleva from Bells of Steel and some other guys. Jameson was there too. The next thing I know, I'm between sets and I look at Tim and a couple of people there, and they're going off and they're sniffing bumper plates because they had a conversation about odor from bumper plates when the bumper plates are using recycled rubber versus when they're brand new. It's really cool, and I can't say enough good things about Bells of Steel just for what they do for the home gym community in general. That's perfect. Yeah. Right. Where's your shirt? You have? We found out at the, I won't say the last minute, but maybe 2 months before, that my wife wasn't going to be able to go. I knew right away that it was going to be a lot more difficult to bring the same level of professionalism that I expect out of myself, and that I feel I owe my audience if I did it by myself. So I reached out to a couple of people who I felt I could trust in terms of their attention to detail and their quality, and asked if they would be willing to go.
A little over a month ago, I got a call from my friend John Greaves over at the Garage Gym Life YouTube channel. And he said, "Hey Tim, HomeGymCon's coming up, and normally my wife goes with me to run the camera, but she can't go this year."
And I was like, "Man, you come on with me. We're going ahead, you know, don't worry about your hotel, and all you got to do is you're going to run the camera for me, and I'll introduce you to everybody I know."
Well, after thinking about it for about a half a second, I said yes. And it was one of the best decisions I've made in a long time.
The other factor for me was I like to spread the word about the event. So I reached out to people on purpose who I knew didn't know about HomeGymCon or who hadn't been to HomeGymCon before.
I expected a trade show, and it's not a trade show. It's a convention, and there's a distinct difference.
Man, this is already cool. I've already run into so many people, and we're not even fully set up over here yet. We still got people setting up. This is an awesome, awesome feeling to be back here. It's like being at a family reunion.
I mean, it was so cool to have everybody there. It was so friendly.
15? Where all the cool people are. You know how you can tell? Yeah. There you go. That's how you can tell.
Just spontaneous conversations breaking out left and right. In fact, I was trying to help you film, and I think a bunch of times you were on to the next booth, and I'm sitting there having this just random conversation that sparked up with a person walking through, and it was so cool to be around like-minded people who love this stuff as much as I do. And
when you go in there, you're not a stranger. You know, we got Rob weighing weights, getting ready for the event tomorrow. Yes, sir. That's it. The legendary Mike.
What's going on?
And there's Donnie. There's Donnie. Even if people don't know you, you literally can strike up a conversation with anybody about anything home gym related, and in 5 minutes, it's like you've known them forever.
Talking about the binding agent and the chrome rubber bumper plates and the difference in it, and you can't have those conversations anywhere else.
I was washing my hands, and this guy just started talking to me, right? And he's like, "Hey, he's go." Like he started in the middle of the conversation. "Yeah, man, how you doing?" I said, "Good. I mean, I don't know what you want to tell. The soap feels great. I don't know what you want to talk about, right?" But he was somebody who watches the show. I was like, "Oh yeah, man." And as soon as he told me who he was, I said, "Oh yeah, I remembered interactions we've had." immediately we go out and we're like, hey, we got to take a picture. And that kept on happening.
Nice to finally meet you. Garage Gym 411.
Oh, hey, how you doing, man?
Great. Now I knew you were going to be here. I was like, I'm looking forward to meeting you.
There you go. I was like, hey, he looks like Henry Winkler. That's okay. Hey. There you go. Yeah. For me, this is a business trip.
John is one of the hardest working, best work ethic people I've met. And that really showed.
Yes, it's fun, but it's kind of like, I always say, it's like if I was a reporter and I covered the NFL and the Super Bowl happened, I would go to it. If I was a reporter and I covered the NFL and the NFL Combine was going on, I would go to it. Well, HomeGymCon is like the NFL Combine for home gym owners. So it's the biggest event for home gym owners in existence. So I go, even if I wasn't going to have fun, even, absent the relationships and hanging out and seeing friends, it still to me is a work trip because it's my job, I feel, as a content creator for the home gym community to cover this event.
I'm pulling up. I'm like, hey, where do I park? He goes, we're unloading at this door over here.
I had already committed that we were going to do my morning show. It happens every Friday, and I said, this is not going to be any different. And so one of the other things I was doing Thursday was arranging with different people, hey, come on up. And, I was planning on like 15-minute segments to come up, and we'll just talk about what you have at your booth, what people can expect, and kind of get like a preview of HomeGymCon for everyone, because my show was going to end before the expo doors open. So I was like, this is perfect. So, but of course now I'm nervous.
We did not stop working except to sleep for a couple hours a night for the whole time we were there.
Okay, made it to the room. Been walking all over this place. I feel like I've been doing a Bataan death march all day. But we finally got everything unloaded. We found the conference room where we're going to have the morning show tomorrow, because as much as it surprises people, the show will go on at 6 a.m. without fail. Nothing is going to stop that from happening. I normally don't sleep well the night before my show, and the show starts at 6, and I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning with it like clockwork because I'm always afraid of oversleeping. So I jumped up. Day 2 and the saga continues up. And Adam, it is 4:55, getting ready to head downstairs to get set up for this morning's podcast. Tim and I got most of the stuff set up, so we should be pretty much good to go. I've got a little bit of stuff that I need to add as far as video footage, but because unfortunately StreamYard won't let me add it the night before. But we've got the camera set up, we've got the microphone set up, and I've got most of the guests already arranged. It's a little weird for me because typically I have like a full show rundown and everything else like typed up and ready to go with questions and all that. And today I'm going to be freestyling. So, all the guests are supposed to be coming down for 15-minute segments. And I feel like I may have double booked somebody. Hope not, but we'll find out. Poor Tim, I was like, hey, welcome to day 1. We got up, went down, and I'm like, is everybody going to show up? Is everybody going to be awake? Because at HomeGymCon, a lot of people like to go hang out in the casino, even if they're not really gambling. They're just hanging out. Because, again, it's like a reunion. You don't want the night, each night you want to kind of squeeze as much out of it as you can, hanging out with friends and stuff. So I was just hoping everybody would show up. Coming to the stage, Ashley Romiak. Show your love. Show your love. I was so happy. Ashley Romiak came in. And the crowd goes wild. The crowd goes wild. I think she was my first guest. She comes in, and I was like, yeah. It was either Ashley or Jameson. In fact, no, it was Jameson, because Jameson said he had a cool story he wanted to tell me, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. He's like, I want to tell you on your show because it just illustrates HomeGymCon. But we end up having a really great show. The man you've been waiting for himself. He is in the building. This is not a drill. Carbs Gym. I'm looking right at his hat. I'm looking right at his hat. Under that hat is a lot of Nashville right there. Let's go. Get up here. And I cannot wait to, number one, ask you why on earth y'all's traffic is the way it is. Go ahead, sit in that chair right there. I'm gonna make you answer for your entire city.
Oh no.
Why does your traffic suck? So we got my man here. Was it Rep Benoit?
That's Benoit. Yeah, that's like the
that's your Instagram thing.
That's yeah, some of the interesting kind of home gym memes, and
everybody, you know, came in there. You know him, you love him. Kayvon, what's up, man?
Hey,
how you doing? I got Jonathan. Shout out to Jonathan from the No Fate 24/7 channel. He agreed to come on with me and kind of give like the perspective. I said, Jonathan, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna speak for everybody who can't be at HomeGymCon. You tell me what you want me to cover. Which booths should I go to? And I'll go to them. And he just told me, hey, make sure that you go to some of the smaller vendors, you know, who don't have like the large marketing budget. And I said, all right. So we did that. All right.
Good for you.
This is for me. Oh,
look for you.
Hey, none of the other guests. Hey, look, I got one more guest. They brought me a gift, okay? No pressure. Cart brought me a shirt, okay? And then these guys here, they brought me a gift. So I'm not saying you have to bring a gift to be on the show, but I'm not saying it. After the show was over, we wrapped up, went downstairs, and I had to catch, you know, it was time. I knew I was going to work out. And that's pretty much going to be my only, like, recreational thing. I switched over from sumo to conventional deadlifting, and I needed to hit a 1 rep max. So I decided to go over to the Fringe Sport booth, went on over to Fringe Sports, said what's up to Peter Keller, someone else who I had only spoken to online previously. And again, it was like I had known him my whole life. That dude had on the legendary cowboy hat and boots. And so I went ahead and I started deadlifting. And it was crazy because nobody in the entire place had a deadlift jack except for Kleva built. So shout out to them, because I went down there. It was crowded enough that I didn't want to get their full-size jack, but I grabbed 2 of their Genesis jacks.
I won't be the first.
Kleva built to the rescue.
I mean, I told you what's it.
Like butter, people, like butter.
Originally,
and so shout out to them for letting me use their Genesis jacks to hit my 1 rep max.
Let's go, John. Yes, sir. Come on. Nice.
And I ended up actually getting a PR, and it's cool because I'm hitting the PR, and Don Giaffardino from Addicts Clubs, who I knew prior, he actually found out about HomeGymCon because I interviewed him, and then after he was on with me, he was checking out what everybody else was saying about HomeGymCon coming up, and just like that, he signed up his company to have a booth. Well, he's there, he sees me deadlifting, and so Don comes back, and I didn't realize he was behind me, but you can see in the video he's cheering me on.
There you go. Go,
go, go.
There you go. Got jerk.
And I get done, and he's like, you know, you had like 30 more pounds in you that you could have gone. I said, man, I was already a PR. Of course, then I had to make jokes. I was like, you know, it felt good because I deadlifted all of the weight that Fringe Sport had brought with him. It was $495, you know, not really a big deal, but that was cool for not having done any conventional deadlifts in years. Then it was time to work, and we spent the rest of the day going from booth to booth, just basically going up and doing essentially 5 minutes at each booth. Some of the booths went a little bit longer because we wanted to make sure that that each vendor could put their products on display and not feel rushed. But there were just so many booths, we didn't get to cover everything that we wanted to see. And then we went to dinner. The dinner was amazing, and Jake had asked me if I would present an award, and so I presented an award to Black Widow for being the most supportive vendor, the vendor that's the most supportive of the competitions. And so I got to tease Dean a little bit because, you know, Dean hates public speaking, but so I got to poke fun at him a little bit. But you know, he's I felt like it was a well-deserved award because he did put in a lot of time and effort to make sure that the different competitions went off without a hitch. And I got to sit next to Kyle and get the original story from Kyle about how he went to a Comic-Con and then left Comic-Con and went and was talking to Jake and was like, hey man, I think we could have something like Comic-Con but for home gym owners. And that was the genesis of, that was the seed that was planted that led to Jake starting HomeGymCon. So it was really cool to get that story, get back to the room, and Tim said he was gonna go back downstairs and catch some more footage now that the expo was gonna be empty. And he went in there, he got a ton of photos, a ton of videos and things like that, which was really cool. And I stayed up because my wife and daughter were driving to Florida, so I couldn't go to sleep until I knew they were in their hotel room safe and sound. So I stayed up pretty late. And then Saturday was another early start because we went down and we got everything set up for the strongman competition. And I gotta give a shout out to Kurt because that strongman competition, he had in his head a certain amount of space, and that space kept shrinking because there were so many vendors there, but he made it work.
All right, event number 3 is the First Form truck pull. What we got is this amazing Freightliner truck from First Form. We've got it rigged up with a pull harness custom made by Belt Fed Strength, and we got a pull rope. The athlete's gonna get into a low position. He's gonna have a judge pulling the rope for him. There's gonna move the truck 50 feet for time. Fastest time wins the course. It's gonna be great.
I'm fairly critical about my work, and I felt like that broadcast was not the best because of course the internet didn't work. So we said, all right, well, we'll just record it, render the video, and then upload it so that people can watch it as a premiere. You know, the athletes can watch it. But the rendering was taking a long time because it was a long competition. But I don't regret a minute of it, you know, because the fact that I was there meant that I got to see one of the coolest things. Shout out to Andrew, because Andrew from Heinous Strength was one of the judges, and there was only one competitor left in the sandbag over the bar, and Andrew said, I'm not going to let you be the only one going. So Andrew was judging, and he started just doing sandbag over the bar just so the guy would have somebody else to keep him motivated. And that's when I lost my voice because I was yelling, cheering this guy on. He got 60 reps sandbag over the bar, and that was so awesome. I couldn't replicate that moment. Then everything's over, and then I drafted Jared Freeman, who I knew from my Discord, and I said, hey Jared, I need your help. So he grabbed some stuff. We had to run upstairs carrying the computer and the wire reel that had our Ethernet cable on it so we could plug in and try to upload video. And then that didn't work because it was going to take like another 2 hours to upload that one video, and we had 3 videos. I said, forget this. So said goodbye to everybody. HomeGymCon is over and you can see everybody like getting the heck out of Dodge. This is crazy. Yo, I cannot wait to be back next year. This was awesome. I like French Lick. It's gonna be in Louisville next year. Yeah. I'm glad Jake made this, man. Got back on the road, I'm driving back. All right, and that's it for HomeGymCon. Headed home now. Don't know if I'll ever be back in French Lick, because next year HomeGymCon is gonna be in a different place. It's gonna be in Louisville. And I would love to stay. There's a dinner everybody is attending, but number one, I miss my wife. I miss my little girl. I wasn't able to go to her cheer competition, her last cheer competition for the year, because I was here. I committed to that. But you know, like I said, I miss my wife. I miss my daughter, and I want to go see them. It's kind of bittersweet because I never thought, you know, that I would care about French Lick. Before HomeGymCon, all I knew was Larry Bird. Probably everybody said this, but the only thing I knew about it was Larry Bird is from French Lick. But there was something about that place that was kind of special. The fact that the journey to get there so long meant you could kind of shut off the world for a little bit, for at least those 2 days. The first year was 3 days. You could just shut the world off for that amount of time and just be in the moment with people who understand you, who get you. I committed to live stream the strongman competition? Well, because the internet was so bad there, I couldn't live stream it. So what I'm gonna end up having to do is edit the video, which is several hours long, render it, and then upload it to YouTube. I was supposed to get home at 1 o'clock in the morning according to GPS, and I remember the exit was, it said exit half a mile. That was the exit. And then I blinked and it said I was gonna get home at 3 a.m. I was like, wait, what just happened? I had fallen asleep that fast and missed my exit. So then it was 32 miles to the next exit, and I just had to power through it. Got to the exit, and there was a truck stop. And I'm gonna say this, I don't have any idea what I drank, but it worked. All right, it worked. And then another thing that was cool, well, one thing that was not cool is around the time that I drank that is when I got the phone call from Rob. I got a phone call from Rob from Vintage Weights, and he said, yeah, I left my Garage Gym Life tablecloth there. And I was like, well, I'm too far down the road to turn around and get it now, but I appreciate it. He put it in the mail and shipped it to me. But anyway, I was awake, and I was like, all right, this drink has got me now. And then I was just driving, and I had never been this way before, so it was, you know, whatever. And then David Dennis from Gorilla Strength reached out to me because he knew I was on my way back from HomeGymCon, and he was just like, you know, how'd it go? And I told him what's going on, and that dude stayed up with me until I got home. We were just talking about random stuff. I guess he was up working in his shop, but that's a good dude. He kept me up telling stories about all kinds of stuff, his past. We talked about, he used to compete in MMA. I trained MMA, competed in kickboxing, so we were telling old fight stories to each other. It was just a good time, and made the miles passed. Got home at 3 something in the morning, and I couldn't go to sleep. I had to edit video. So I decided I was going to edit the video, the strongman video, instead of 3 separate videos. Now I'm home with the good internet, so I edited them together into one video, uploaded it, and then while it's uploading, I unpacked the car, published the video, and then I finally got to sleep at about 9:45 Sunday morning. And yeah, I was tired to the point where I was going back through editing all the video footage that I got, and it took me a while to be able to shoot this vlog because I also wanted to spend time with my emotions, sitting with my emotions and digesting the feeling of what it was like. And all I can say is the tickets for HomeGymCon 2025 have just come out, and we've already got our tickets. That was another incredible experience, and I cannot wait for next year.